All right, ready?
Hi.
Hi.
We finally made it.
Wow.
We were talking about how we got this last June. This equipment.
6 months later, it's fine.
That's more than 6 months. It's almost March.
Oh, God. Oh, dear.
It's fine.
All right.
We had a busy year.
Yeah, we did.
But we did it.
Here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, so
Super excited to be doing a podcast with you finally.
in our own living room.
Yeah.
Look at us. No, I think this will be really great. I hope people, I guess, what do we want to take away from this? I hope people listen and get a feel for who we are and our general vibe as people, but also like kind of prepares you for the wedding day if you hire us or hire us for anything, I guess.
I think community is a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We have to warm up.
Yeah, we do. I gotta fix my seat.
Are you okay?
No.
Are we okay?
There we go.
You're fidgeting.
I feel better.
Okay.
No, that's nice. No, I think I want to just feel comfortable doing this, but I think collectively we have how much experience between the two of us? I'm 5 years in.
14 years in April.
So what is that? 19 collective years of experience.
Yeah. And from different perspectives.
And from
too,
different
which is
perspectives. Cool. So we're just excited to be talking. Mm-hmm. Hopefully a community circles around this.
Yeah. And it's not just, I don't think it's even just potential like clients turned, friends and like the whole community of people that have or will hire us, but like also vendors. I mean, like I love the vendor friends and like connections that we have in this industry from all different, walks. And I think it's really, really special. I know when I started, it wasn't really like that. So it was a little less, it was less easy, or I guess harder to make friends and connections and like lean on people if you needed people and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I can only speak from my perspective on this, but I've really had nothing but love and support from everybody. Holy moly. Like from like, hey, like here's how to do this or equipment, or let me share this with you. Especially here, we're in Jacksonville and we just have a wonderful community here, St. Augustine, Jacksonville.
It really is.
People just care. Like, you got to get involved. You put yourself out there for sure, but
which is hard. Definitely hard, especially initially. I mean, it's hard still. I mean, like honestly, like we could be honest and say we struggle with like going to like networking things and stuff. But then when we go, we're like, oh, we had so much fun. Yeah. Like, why don't we go to more?
Sometimes I'm introverted.
Sometimes we don't like to leave our house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's so true. But yeah, no, I think that when you started and kind of got into this like industry, or like, it wasn't just weddings initially for you. It kind of got into weddings, but like just generally speaking, I think it was in that transitionary time of like, people being more like community over competition and like welcoming and stuff. And that like, at least from my perspective, took a while for it to get there. I was always just like, hey, like I want to be everyone's friend, and not everyone was
You're
like
awesome.
That. Yeah. You're biased, but it's okay.
Incredibly.
But it's okay. Yeah, no, I'm really glad that it's taken a shift for the most part. And listen, not everyone's going to vibe. Not everyone's going to be like, that's just life, your cup of tea, but that's okay.
I feel like we have a good group here.
We have a great circle.
But yeah, I think that's the point of the podcast.
Yes.
At least from my perspective, is like, oh, we can have people on and talk about things, and
that'll be fun.
Just
I'm
super
excited.
fun. Yeah. But your background, I guess we could talk about your whole background. You said 14 years. That's a long time.
It's a whole teenager.
That's a long time.
Yeah. No, it's pretty weird to think about. This April it's 14 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
2010, because I went full time 2010. Yeah, I was in my early to mid 20s when I took the leap of faith to quit my full-time job at the time. and you know, I joke that I truly don't know like how I had the balls, so to speak, to be like, yeah, follow your dream.
Yeah.
Like, and just thinking back how different things were in 2010, it just all those, and I'm so glad I did. I mean, it was obviously the best decision I ever made, for myself, not only professionally, but personally, because it led me to all sorts of things, including you. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I remember, and I guess this serves as kind of, hopefully helpful for anyone who is, you know, trying to get into their own business. Doesn't have to be photography or wedding industry related, but you know, not everyone is about doing their own thing or starting their own business. That's totally fine. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So much work and discipline. And I don't think it's that I didn't realize or know how much work it would be. I've always had a pretty good work ethic, even when I worked for someone else. But yeah, I'm not quite sure. I would love to go back and have a conversation with younger me and, you know, like pick my brain at that point to kind of see where my head was at to do what I did. But yeah, I quit my full-time job in 2010 and I had been there for 6 years. I was a manager at General Nutrition Center selling vitamins and supplements and herbs. And I was doing photography on the side while doing that. So it wasn't like I started photography in 2010. Like I had been doing photography just for fun and as a hobby forever. But yeah, I went full time in 2010 and it kind of like there was always ups and downs. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like there were years, of course. I mean, if any business, especially in the wedding industry, is telling you like, oh, it's all just roses and fabulous all the time. Like that's just not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Everyone has hardship. Everything is
right. Ebbs and flows.
Hardship. Yeah.
But,
I mean, everything is hardship. I don't think that came out right.
Everything is hardship.
No, there's ebbs and flows and difficulties in anything you do. Yeah.
And I think to be transparent about that is important, especially for people who are wanting to start businesses and stuff, because, you know, you think it's going to be just like this easy, fun road. Like, oh, I work for myself and I wouldn't have it any other way. I think we both can agree. Like, I'm so grateful.
I think we love what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. But
truly.
It's been a journey.
I think in order to love what you do, you kind of have to go through those ebbs and flows.
Yes.
Because as soon as it gets hard, it really makes you question and your commitment to what you're doing.
Well, for me,
that's with anything in life.
Yeah, I was not super business savvy. I mean, like in my early to mid 20s, like I just wanted to take pretty pictures and I didn't know how to run a business.
I think that's everybody that starts, truly.
And so once I kind of got that under, I guess, like control is probably not the right word, but like, you know, once I kind of got the flow of that down, I would say, honestly, the first 3 years it was a journey, you know, like it was
a lot of learning. A lot of failure, but the failure is how you learn.
Yep. And, and I never gave up. And I will say despite struggles, like I never went and got another job. Like I have truly been full-time for 14 years. Like this has been a full-time income for 14 years. So very, very proud of that. Like,
that's off to you, darling.
Yes. No, thank you. Oh God, when we start getting British, you know.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's not getting real.
I'm very good at accents. Actually, I wouldn't say very good.
Yes, you are. You're very good at impressions.
Time to time.
Just wait. I'm sure as episodes go on, you'll get a real glimpse into Nick's impressions.
It's all love.
But anyways, no, I'll talk on and on. But it's just it's been a journey. I wouldn't change a thing because it obviously led me here and for all the things. But it's I think I started probably gearing more towards weddings. Like I shot weddings on and off obviously from the beginning, but like I would say my shift into doing weddings more primarily was probably 2014, 15. So it was a few years in.
Yeah.
And then obviously I still do shoots and stuff for newborns and engagements and families and boudoir and all the other stuff and all the in-betweens. So, yeah. And here we are.
Here
14
we are.
years later.
It's
what
amazing.
about you, my dear?
So proud of you.
Proud of you.
Yeah. Not as long.
It really doesn't matter though. Like
no.
You've accomplished a tremendous amount in not even a short 5 years is not a short amount of time.
Yeah, no, it really started to stack up pretty quickly.
Yes.
I turned around recently and I was like, oh my God, like to say I've been doing this for 5 years.
It goes by fast.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, the longest I ever worked anywhere was my job before this doing property management. And that was about 5 to 6 years. Is that right? Yeah, 6 years, 6 years or so, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And like to be doing something like that long, I don't know, it's crazy.
It is. Yeah.
And you start to, I feel like I've like eclipsed some sort of like hump to like a learning curve. So I think that's probably a better way to do it, is like a learning curve.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get to a point around this time when, is this something I really enjoy doing?
Yes.
And am I going to move on or try something different?
Well, we've talked about that, where you aren't going to do this, or, I mean, any entrepreneurial, self-employed job, business that you don't love. I mean, like, you could easily just go do another job if you really wanted to just make money. It's not about the money. Especially working in the wedding industry specifically, it is a very, I guess, servant heart, like
you have to have a servant heart to do this. 100%.
You have to really love what you do and love the people that you're working with, because these days are so incredibly special and important to them. They can't be redone.
Yeah.
You have to be on, you have to know what you're doing, and honestly just really care. Like, you really have to give a crap.
100%.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people that might not feel that way, and I don't know if they should be in the industry. But
I would say videography got me into the industry, and I think love just in general is what keeps me in there. Yeah, and the belief in marriage keeps me there. And like, this is you're an integral part of someone starting their family.
Yep.
Like, this is it. Like, this is the beginning of a new life that you're starting together. And if you don't have like reverence or honor that, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are a little bit robotic in the sense of you just hear horror stories. It's not necessarily, we're not talking about like Jacksonville or Florida specifically. You just hear general wedding vendor horror stories, and it just like hurts my heart, because I'm just like, what? Like, what are we doing?
And I don't think it comes out of bad intention. I think we all love what we do in this industry. If you're in video or photo, you enjoy what you do. If you're in planning, you love what you do. I just think that you have to remember that you are serving the client. At the end of the day, it's the clients.
Yeah.
It's not about me and my love for videography. There's so many shots I would love to get.
Well, it's putting your ego aside.
Yeah, that I understand aren't going to be physically possible in the day, because it doesn't line up with the timeline of the day, and it just is what it is. But no, so I got into videography, massive sidetrack. That'll probably happen a lot with our ADHD minds.
Welcome to our lives, yeah.
But no, I started 5 years ago, specifically doing weddings, and then I've been doing video.
You did dive right into weddings, didn't you? Pretty much.
Yeah. Big shout out to my boy, David Hansen.
David.
He got me started in the industry. I was looking for some opportunities, and he brought me up. He really did. And we talk about this all the time. He's like he's a legend for showing me the ropes. And I would not be where I am today without him. I would not have met Krystal had it not been for a wedding that we worked together that was under him.
It was, yeah, in 2021.
We
have to get to that one.
Yeah, but I got my start, and then I was doing property management. I was in college, working property management full time, going to school, trying to figure it out like everyone is. And
it's a transitionary time. It's
a transition time for sure. And I was hell bent on a career in property management, believe it or not. I was like, I love this. Like I just love, like, when I get into what I'm doing. Yeah, I enjoyed my job. Yeah. I really did. I loved being with the residents. Like, I loved like hanging out. It was fun. Like, we put events on.
You still worked
we
with
were
people,
still doing events and people. I was still in the service industry.
Yep.
which is something else we can talk about down the road too, because I think servant hearts always remain in service.
Yeah. But I kind of did my own share of that when it came to GNC in a
yeah.
interesting 100%. Way.
Yeah. But I was at a crossroad. I had graduated from good old ASU online, going to school for liberal studies. It's the useless degree. But in my opinion, like, it really was. We talk about this too. It wasn't useless because I think it helped me figure out this is what I want to be doing.
I don't think anything's useless. No. I think everything is you can't.
Yeah,
it's all. It's a stepping stone.
Gross. No. Disgusting. But then I was looking, and as serendipitous as it was, I went out to Arizona for my graduation because I got to be there to do it, which was super cool. And then
love Arizona.
Yeah, big shout.
Big shout out to Arizona. Arizona's beautiful. No, anyways, sorry.
But when I got back, I had caught wind that we had lost the contract for that property I was working at. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to have a job. Yep. So I was like, man, if the stars aren't aligned, if this isn't the definition of stars aligning, like, I don't know what is. And I just went for it. It's
a true testament too of like when doors close, it can be really hard. Initially, you're like, why is this happening? This is so, it's sad, or you're just, but there's always a reason.
Yeah. If that door closed for me, I was starting to knock on other doors to find the next chapter. I mean, I had looked
it just pushed you.
Yeah, it did. And I was looking for jobs as a videographer because business is so foreign to me. My family comes from a very like corporate background. So it was like career was it. And I just didn't feel called to that. Well, I did feel called to that. I felt very called to that. I didn't feel called to starting a business. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, who does? It's truly the worst part. But once you get the hang of it,
I was like, there's no way that I could do that. Like, I literally was like, that seems not in my cards. I was like, that seems. But I was also very disciplined to begin with. Yeah. Like, as a Ute.
A Ute?
Yeah, I was definitely like very regimented about like going to the gym and meal planning.
I've always been like that too.
That was but I never was like, nah, business isn't like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And then I met David looking on Indeed for jobs, and he's like, dude, you ever think
it's so crazy?
It's wild. It's a crazy story, and he was like, dude, you ever think about doing anything? You think about like owning your own business or doing weddings? Yeah. I was like, I didn't even realize that there was a market for that, but yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
And then he introduced me to it, immediately fell in love with it. And I was like, okay, how can I do that? I want to do this. This is fun. And
I remember there was a customer at GNC that was a wedding photographer. I don't remember her name now. I wish I did.
Oh God. And so sorry. I'm knocking into the mic over here.
But I remember just like being so like, looking up to her and being like, oh, I would like want to be a wedding photographer. Like it's truly what I think I always wanted, not necessarily maybe to be wedding photographer, but I did always love photography. So like thinking back, I'm like, it's kind of fun to think on young Krystal's mindset.
No, that's so awesome. I love hearing stuff like that. And you're definitely so creative. Like, you're just such a creative person.
You are too.
Design
and multi-talented
from design to just everything, like your attention to detail on things, like it definitely is like an artistry in the
photography sense
mindset.
I think if I had not done photography, I think I definitely would have either done something in design if I could have, or interior design, but I wouldn't know where to start with that. But I guess some people could say the same thing about photography, so it's like obviously there's a path in one way or another. I also really thought forensic science was really interesting, but I don't know if I would have gone
My sister
that route.
did too. My sister did go down the criminal justice route.
I think it's really fascinating.
But it is definitely way cool.
But I think I would have taken home everything, and probably I'm too empathetic, and like I would have been like, but who was this person?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm built
for
it. It's tough.
That's the artist in you. I really do believe that that's like a super wonderful way to look at the world.
Thanks. Here we are.
But
anyways, we got off track.
I'm so grateful that we were able to come together to do this, and our stories merged, and like
I know. Like
really special. Another serendipitous.
Very, very serendipitous for those that don't know. And this episode's kind of just like a general, I think, just chit chatting, recapping, like.
Krystal's also from Boston, so I can do that.
Here we go.
Here we are.
He's channeling my father. who inspired me to do photography. That's actually awesome. For this.
No, I know he did. Know, yep. I'm actually using his camera bag from like 40 years ago.
Literally, it's probably older than that.
Really?
He uses it for weddings. So if you see him toting around this old, I don't know what brand they don't make it anymore.
Kiwi. Yeah, I think it's Kiwi.
It is Kiwi.
Yeah.
I don't think Kiwi exists.
Look up when Kiwi was a company.
The 60s. Like.
It's awesome. Yeah, but it's so cool that like he introduced it to you, and then like I now have an artifact from
it means a
that
lot
time, and then I get to use it and carry it on. It's like super cool.
Very cool and very special.
Yeah.
Yeah, our story, I really do like unbiasedly say it's serendipitous. Like for me, it was, it's so funny because we think back, it's such an easy date to remember because it was May 1st, 2021.
Yeah.
And Sam and Anthony's wedding.
Big shout
out. Thanks guys for getting married. Well, and the funny thing is when you really think back, right? Like to just different things in your life that led you to wherever, right?
Yeah.
And I think back, I'm like, okay, so how did Sam find me? Because she hired you kind of on
through
last
David.
minute,
yeah.
But it was like later on. Like I think they booked photo for their wedding like a year out. I don't something probably pretty normal.
Yeah.
And then I remember like I was going through their like final timeline and finalizing stuff like a month or so out from their wedding. And I saw your name as videographer. Like I was like, who's this guy?
Oh, not another one.
Another videographer.
Come on, man. Here we go.
And I was like, no, I was like, I'd never heard of you. I was like,
can't wait to have 9 tripods in my way as I'm trying to get through the ceremony.
Who is this guy? And I know I'm always so like I want to work with them. We're all there for a common goal, but not everyone's like that. So like like I'm there for the couple, and I'm like we're there for them. So, but it's always a team. That's what I always say. Like even if it's not you and me shooting, like if you're not shooting video and I'm not shooting photo, and we're working with other people, we're all there for a common goal. Like it's not a competition.
And honestly, it's super special. Like when you have like that much energy going into like someone's day, and everyone's like on the same page, and
that's how it should be.
It's
100%,
so wonderful.
Yeah. So even when it's not the two of us, we're always trying to make
it's awesome.
Make sure it's like that, because you'll work with other photographers who we love too. It's not always me. So, but anyways, again, off track. But so May 1st, 2021, and I remember thinking like, how did Sam find me? And I remember it was because she knew my best friend Kayla. And Kayla had recommended Sam to me, and Sam was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm, I was definitely always gonna like reach out and
it's awesome
and hire you." So that's how I got that wedding. Then I remember like a few weeks out, I saw you on the timeline, and I was like, "Don't know this guy," but whatever, it's cool, whatever. I'm always down to make new connections, whatever. So then the wedding day comes around, and I remember. I always tell this story because to me it's really funny. I was just like, like some wedding days, like I'm always on, like I'm always like, I'm a very bubbly, goofy.
You really are.
Like social person. I'm not faking it.
I'm making direct eye contact with the camera. It was these traits that initially drew me to Krystal. It's true.
But no.
No, you were so nice to me.
I was genuine. I mean, like, and I really am. Like, I'm not like, I pride myself on being very much me. And listen, I'm probably not everyone's cup of tea, just because not everyone's going to vibe. And like, I think I used to take that so personally because like, it's hard. You're like, I want everyone to like me.
Of course.
And that's just not realistic. But I'm just very authentically me in this time in my life. And I always have been, but very much so now. But anyways, when we met, I remember distinctively walking up to you, because I always introduce myself with vendors I haven't worked with before, and just kind of like making sure, like, I'm like, where are you gonna be? Like, I just want to make sure we're not in each other's way. Just a respect thing, and also just to introduce, so it's not just like you're just working side by side and it's robotic. Like, but I remember I introduced myself and I was like so excited to see that you shot with Sony because I had just switched to Sony. And I felt like I was probably just this little like energetic bumblebee, like, oh, when did you get Sony? I just got Sony. How do you like it? And
no,
you're
so
like,
no, it was very endearing for sure. And we actually talked quite a bit about it.
Yeah, no, and
it was
well,
fun.
and it's funny because I distinctly remember you included me in their video.
I did.
I was at, which is like, we don't usually include other vendors.
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah, like I was in the photo booth with Sam and Anthony, and you got a shot of that. And I remember I was like, oh, I was in their video. That's cool.
I just remember you being, I don't think I knew at that point that you knew them personally. But I really
didn't too well at that point.
The interpersonability you had at that wedding, I was blown away. I was like, she's the most outgoing, wonderful, like you said, bubbly person.
Thanks.
And it's so sweet. And I think we're such a wonderful compliment to each other in that regard because I'm definitely just sometimes more like.
No, I think you're fine. I'm just a lot more chatty, just in general.
Yeah, I think I'm just naturally more introverted.
But once you open up, you're
I really,
goofball.
Yeah, definitely so.
Well,
just quiet.
I think
at
first. Yeah, at first. And then you're like, and then you bring out your dance moves and you're like, hey, get Nick on the dance floor. He's ready.
Oh, with my 3 moves.
Your 3 moves they're memorable and people know them. So it's fine. But, but not only did you get like a video clip of me that you included in their video, but I did take a photo of you like while you were dancing and joking around on the dance floor while shooting.
I do remember this.
Which is very not in character for me. Like, I mean, I guess it was a moment happening, but it just depends. But yeah, I can't remember last time I've gotten many like vendor, I guess, photos, unless it's like a florist setting up or, something like that. I don't know. Or a coordinator doing a room reveal, whatever. But ironically, so we met, but it wasn't romantical literally at all. I remember you making an impression on me as a vendor and a person. I was like I really liked working with you. You were very like easy to work with. You were very pleasant, professional, fun, and that was that, so the timing for romanticalness was just not there.
No, it wasn't. And I just remember you being really nice as well. I was like, man, she's so nice.
You told your mom about me.
I did. So I was living at home at the time and starting the business, and I was like, I came home and I was like, you know what? Well, actually, it was the next day because, like, dude, you know how it is. You get home from a wedding at like 11 o'clock. You're like, I'm going to bed.
Yep.
But I woke up the next morning. I was like, you know what? Mom, I met the nicest photographer I ever worked with. She was so sweet.
I'll marry her in about 3 years. Don't worry.
Well, I was like, between you and me and everyone watching this or listening to it, I don't know how to say this without being creepy.
Oh, please.
No. I was thinking to myself during the wedding while I was working. I was like, yeah, she's definitely married.
It's not creepy. No, you just assumed that like I was
like,
married.
yeah, she's a good, wholesome person.
No, I mean, at the time, I was in a relationship that would later end up, not continuing, and then it still a few months after. I actually like probably almost
quite a bit of time
after that
transpired,
even. Yeah. But we always stayed in touch.
Yeah, we were friends. We were friends during that time.
Yeah, and we were frienders.
We were frienders. We'd send each other memes, and
I remember always seeing like the very like beautiful things like or quotes and things that you would post, and I was like, I really relate to this. Who is this?
Yeah.
Who are you? Are you real? But it wasn't romantical. Like.
Yeah.
And no, but we really formed a great friendship first.
We did.
I think that's really special because I had personally never had that. I don't think I really had like a deep friendship like of the opposite sex.
Yeah, I know well I haven't.
Yeah, before like actually entering a relationship.
Yep.
And then it was summer of 2022. Yeah, 2022. And in the process of all this, I was doing my own thing. I was on my own. I had bought a house. I was continuing to build the business and just kind of focus on myself because I was kind of on I guess you could say healing journey while still like kind of finding myself, and you had done the same thing.
Yep. Definitely did.
And I think that was what was really special is we were both in like really good places separately when we finally like realized like, hey, I might like you more than a friend. And the fact that we were able to bond over the fact that we're both in the wedding industry, and
it's special.
Yeah,
it really is.
And then we booked our first international elopement together.
Crazy.
We booked our international elopement actually before we were even together, and that's I think what even brought us closer. So also shout out to Susie and James, because
huge shout.
We're actually really good friends with them now.
Yeah, but what a crazy turn of events
it was
to be able to do that together,
and
then that all of that lined up, and then here we are.
Well, I think people joked to our closest friends and like family. They're like, so let me get this straight. You're going to Italy.
It's just weird.
With each other and you're just friends. Okay.
Over Valentine's Day in America.
Yeah. Okay. So. Now I think for us, once it transitioned into realizing like that we not only like loved each other as people, but like really did like have like deep love for each other. That was, obviously turned romantic. And then like, it was just like a quick, like it was a quick turnaround for our relationship, but it was no question. Like, I'm like, you're my best friend. Like it was when you know the quote.
I never understood that until I met
100%. Yep. There was no hesitation on either part. And we were both in a nice healed space. And in a time in our life where we're like, hey, like we had the same values. I want to get married. I know what I know what I want.
Yeah.
And you were on the same page, and I really admired that about you. So, and appreciated it because you were very upfront.
Yeah. Well, I took a lot of time, before we started dating, or even before I started putting myself back out there to really just take 2 years, and
it's admirable.
Went into ultimate monk mode, and just stayed to myself. Worked on building the business and. If I just jumped into another, relationship, I don't know if I would have been able to be there.
No, same.
So
no, we met.
That's good.
I think we met when we were supposed to meet, and then like reconnected to form our friendship, and then obviously deeper connections, and then eventually it was just like a no-brainer for
a marriage.
A marriage.
A marriage. I knew we were gonna say that.
Marriage.
Weird.
God, this is like gross.
It's so disgusting.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
But this is
how
we knew.
To listen to this.
No, but it's very, very special, and like I think now, especially, like obviously, at least for me, it's really amazing to have found 100% my person, my best friend. But like the fact that we get to do what we love together and do life together,
it's pretty wonderful.
It's just really special.
I feel very blessed. Yeah,
very, very,
very grateful.
And it makes the business. It's not just a business. I mean, like really, it is like when people like join. I always call it like the West House family.
Yes.
Or West House Weddings family. It really is, because people, I mean, for the most part, I would say like 95% of our couples, like we keep up with through the years.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them come back for like family shoots or like newborn sessions when they have babies. It's like we grow with them, and there's just no words.
Yeah.
It's so special.
Like how I would put it probably is it transcends beyond any sort of
100%.
Business transaction. Like we're a part of your day, like I said earlier, just like kind of ushering you into this new chapter of your life. And this is literally the beginning of it. It's almost like being reborn, so to speak, not to get all woo. Yeah. But it is
it's the next chapter.
It is like another chapter, and it's like, dude, it is a new life that you're starting together, and we're literally
family.
part of it. And it's really special.
And having gone through it now, both of us personally, we have a very interesting perspective, being wedding vendors and then getting married.
Yeah.
It really puts into perspective not only just the business. Like I think it was very interesting, at least for me, to be like, oh, when I looked back at the photos in our video, like what did I really value from those? Like what did I loved everything, but like what did I lean towards, and things like that. So it helps me on a wedding day, like know and
what's really important.
Yeah, and put into perspective, like, okay, well, and everyone's different, but like,
of course.
I don't know. So that helped. But then, I don't know, also just the fact that now, we're married, we have our own life together, we get to be a part of, I mean, ideally we like to take on 20 to 25 weddings a year. We took on we had this whole discussion. We took on too many last year, and
100%.
we scaled back for this year because we want to devote more attention and time to each person. Yeah.
Yes.
But, we're a part of a ton of weddings every year, and these really, really special, like, unforgettable days and moments. And so it's just very, I don't know, it's just very eye-opening and very important, and we don't take that for granted, I guess. It's so much work, not just the shooting, not just the editing, not just like putting together timelines and making sure everything's going to run smooth and not be stressful for the couple, but so much work and like love and effort goes into each wedding, and it's just really important to us. So
yeah, it's a lot of energy. I think about this like when I make a video. Not again, I feel like I'm going mega woo woo on everyone. I'm so sorry.
He's in his feels today.
No, but I will say, like, when I do make a wedding video, like, I am a part of my creative energy, part of me
100%
is going into that video. Like, there's so much more that goes into it than just me putting some clips on a timeline and starting to like stitch it together. There's real feelings and emotions that go into that. Yes. Yeah.
No, it's really true. Same thing
special.
For photo.
It's really special.
Video editing is I have a whole other perspective on just shooting video, because I'll help you sometimes when I'm available to second shoot for video, and you help me to second shoot for photo if we're not on a wedding, where you're shooting video and I'm shooting photo. So we both can do both, but I have a whole newfound respect, and like, photo is hard. I mean,
it's all hard,
but video is really hard.
Yeah, it's
people don't realize how much goes into it on the front end and the back end, but it's the back end, but the editing is just astronomical for you.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it's to see it come together, just like you watch a gallery come together, or a DJ watches a set list come together, and watching people dance and stuff like that. It's the same thing.
Yep. It's truly, truly special.
It's special.
We can admit that there have been many weddings that, especially when it comes to, obviously more so video, just because there's vows, there's toast, more like emotions you can watch and hear, that there have been many days when we're editing, because we edit side by side. Yep. So like, and we're just like getting totally emotional and cry. We're not crying. It's fine. And just reliving someone's day.
Yeah, seriously.
Everything's fine. But I think that's what makes it special. We're very connected, and we really definitely care a lot 100%. about each couple. And we really, it's an honor for the people who choose us. So.
I do say that. I actually was writing something yesterday. I think I posted our elopement video on our YouTube, and I was writing a little caption for it, or a little description, and I was thinking about it. I did get a little emotional thinking about it. I was like, it's such an honor.
Yeah, it's special
to be a part of someone's day.
It is.
So
we love it.
We do.
We don't see stopping anytime soon, because now we get to do it together.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. Super, super grateful for it.
Yes.
Yeah, and now we get to do this together, and that's awesome too.
This is a whole new world for me. You've done I've actually been on podcasts before,
that's
like
cool.
As a guest. But
what podcast have you been on?
Oh God, now I have to remember. Do I remember?
I did some podcasts in the past with David, my mentor, my friend, and it's definitely different. It's way different than anything else, like having a conversation.
Yeah. I definitely want to have guests eventually. I think that would be really fun.
Guests would be awesome.
Yeah. We know some cool people.
And whoever wants to be on it,
reach out,
and we're definitely excited.
And if you made it this far, thank you.
Yeah, holy moly, listen to us ramble.
Yeah.
I think it's an exciting new chapter.
Yeah.
It's very
hey, it's good to have on in the background if you're like
right.
I love listening to podcasts when
in
I
the
edit,
car on the way home.
I love listening to people talk, so hopefully if that's your jam, you'll stick around with us. I think we're pretty fun. we will definitely get probably more goofy and weird, but you know.
Oh, full weirdness. I feel like I was kind of weird. So sorry. Yeah.
He went full, not full woo woo, but like just a little woo woo.
Just a little.
No, this was fun.
It's super fun. It's going to continue to like evolve and develop. We definitely, I think I can say for off the rip, intentional, like authentic, and just have fun.
Yep.
Excited, you know, we'll probably have like some wedding couples on that we've shot with in the past. That'd be a lot of fun to just talk about the day.
How was your experience? What do you recommend?
Recommendations. Talking about life.
Yeah.
Talking about relationships. I think that's where we're probably going with it.
Yeah,
we'll see how it evolves.
Yeah, it's not just wedding industry stuff. I think different episodes will be different. Yeah. Different things, and you know, make shoot happen. Make shoot happen.
What a great name. It's all you.
Finally came to me one day on the couch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. I think this was pretty solid.
First podcast.
First episode.
In the books. Finger snaps.
Oh, finger snap. I can't. My sad finger
Stay tuned. Thanks for listening if you made it this far.
Yeah. We're going to try to do what? Like 2 episodes a month maybe?
Probably 2 a month.
Yeah.
I feel like. And if that...
We'll see.
We'll see how it evolves and see what, you know, if folks want to listen to it.
Yeah.
It'll evolve and
we hope it's entertaining.
We hope you enjoy it.
And educational or
educational
helpful
and fun and just chilling.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love you.
Love you. Way to go.
Goodbye.
Bye.